the craziest thing just happened outside our studios, and it made us come up with this question. Do you or your coworkers do something weird to get a break from work? Because you're not going to believe what we just saw.
I wish we had something weird. We don't seem to do anything fun on our break time. We just hang out in the lunch room and talk about office stuff.
I think ever since COVID and shutdown, and there's like no...
We don't do our weekly barbecues or anything.
Everyone's like afraid to hang out together.
So we're hanging out in the studio here, and I look out the window, and we're on the 5th floor. Down in the parking lot, there's 2 guys down there having a ball, throwing the Frisbee around. And they're not great. They're okay, but you know what? They're having fun.
These are not kids. I mean, they're
grown-ups.
They looked, I would say, 30-ish, 40-ish.
Yeah.
Would you say?
And they look like they're having fun. They're chucking that thing.
And this is an office complex. This is not like a neighborhood.
Right.
We're in Arden in that area, and yeah, they're just going back and forth.
Don't tell them where we broadcast
There's a
from.
billion different places.
No, but
right. Well, the fish van's parked right outside.
That's true.
Yeah, hard to find. Yeah.
But they probably work in a law firm or something like that.
We're making up a whole story about them.
Yeah, there's these 2 guys, and they work side by side in cubicles, and they're like, hey, coming up 10:30, we should take our break.
Frisbee break.
Did you bring the Frisbee? Yeah, I brought the Frisbee.
Let's
do it. And they had, I'm always wondering, I always walk around life trying to figure out who's figured it out. Who is living the life? Who's figured it out? And those 2 guys down there in the parking lot, they have figured it out. I am jealous of their mentality. Like, hey, they've chosen, and a lot of jerks like you and I sit down and we point and like, hey, look at those guys playing Frisbee.
We weren't being jerks.
We weren't, but there are people like that.
You're right. We're just like, you know what? That's cool.
Yeah.
I think we were actually jealous that they didn't invite us.
Right. Hey, tomorrow, 10:30. I'm getting a Frisbee, and I'm going to sit down there and stand down there in the parking lot waiting for them and say, hey, guys, can I get in on this Frisbee game?
I just had
Mike, who's behind me, he'd do it with me. He'd go to, we're going to get a station Frisbee with a fish logo on it.
Can we also get like a wiffle ball and a wiffle ball bat? How much fun would that be?
Now that's getting a little complex. You're talking about like having a baseball game. We've taken this thing up a notch.
Too much.
Can we get some bats and some gloves and some bases?
Leave it to the women. Like, let us overcomplicate this right now and ruin all of the fun.
No, but I kind of like that though. You're right though. If we get a wiffle ball and a bat, then you need somebody to pitch. You need somebody to hit. You need somebody to catch, and you need somebody to field the ball.
The whole point is it's simple.
It is.
Okay.
And I loved how after they feel like they were done, their break's up, they walked back to the building. They kept throwing it. They're like, here, just as they're walking, they're still throwing it back. I love those guys.
We love you. Whatever dudes in Arden are playing Frisbee in the office parking lot.
They have figured it out. And what got me thinking, and no, you brought this up. Hey, what if we did that in one of our meetings? Where if it's your turn to talk, you have to be holding the Frisbee.
Yeah.
Don't you love that idea?
I mean, it was like, because we hate the Zoom mute.
Nobody likes office meetings.
Nobody uses the mute button properly.
Right.
And so this is, you can only talk if you have the Frisbee.
Right.
So then, and everyone's 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's have our meetings in somewhere in a big room or outside. and throw the Frisbee. It's like, wait a second, Amanda. You don't have the Frisbee. Hold on, I'll throw it to you. And then you're like, when you don't want somebody to talk, you just chuck it like, go get it.
Sorry, you used up all your time in this meeting and we're done.
Or it could work the other way around, where you're like holding on the Frisbee. I'm not done yet. I've still got the Frisbee. And then you're like, hey.
You're like, come on. Yeah.
Amanda wants to talk. Do not throw her the Frisbee.
That would be me. I would be that right now.
It's actually the opposite. Amanda doesn't talk very much in the meetings.
That's funny. I'm the opposite in meetings.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just like a little nervous to say anything. And
right.
Then,
well, maybe if we lighten it up with a Frisbee, we would have more fun. Yes. I think that sometimes meetings can be tense.
Yeah.
And you throw in a Frisbee or something like, you know.
Well, usually
idea.
my meeting strategy is the little I talk, the quicker it's ending.
Right.
So I don't
that's
think
true. That's actually a good strategy.
So that's why I'm like this. I'm like, Mandy, you got anything? No, good.
Yeah, and then we end on time.
That's usually my strategy.
Yeah, and then you have people like me, or it's like, Oh, one more thing.
You're like,
Well, have a good day, guys. It's nice. Oh, one more thing I wanted to bring up, and then it's 20 minutes later. But
okay, so do you have anything like this? Like maybe do you go throw the ball? Like do you throw the ball out at work?
maybe you have a
focus?
ping pong table in your office or a
There you
billiard
go.
table. We've been wanting to get one of those.
I'd like some ideas. That would be good. We've got the space.
You know what I think people do, honestly? On their break, they take their phone
yeah.
and they go watch YouTube or scroll through their Instagram or something. Like they're not doing that already
Yeah,
at their office.
during Zoom meetings.
Or they go
Yeah.
make a call to somebody. It's
Hey, we got to play like
people
kids
don't
again.
take breaks anymore. I don't take breaks.
No,
I don't
I
take
take-
regular breaks. I hardly ever even
Yeah,
take my
I'm
lunch.
not
My
even to
wife
eat.
actually made my lunch today.
You're the best wife ever.
You got that
I
right.
didn't bring my.
So that's all.
I didn't bring anything today.
And it's like, I rarely take a break. That's one of the problems. We need to take more Frisbee breaks. Maybe if we scheduled them, if we put them in our phone, Frisbee break. Oh, gotta go. I got a Frisbee break.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, I mean, that's what they say. Like, those are super important to your productivity.
It's
to
true.
give your brain a break. Instead, like, I have a meeting strategy to not talk so they end. And the same thing, I'm like, I just don't take any breaks so I can get home quicker to my kids.
A lot of people have that strategy, but
It's not good.
we've done a segment on the show about,
Yeah.
I forget what it was trying
did a
how
lot
to
of
be more
things.
positive or something like that. And it's going outside. Like those two guys
yeah, we
did.
just talked
They
about
heard
that.
our segment. They heard
They
our
did their
segment.
listeners.
And then they went outside and they said, we heard Amanda and Matt, so we're out playing Frisbee.
Okay.
They should have a National Frisbee Day where everybody, they probably do. They have a national day for everything. They have National Wiffle Ball Day probably. Go out and play Frisbee.
You know what would be really fun? One more thing. On Tuesdays they bring the food trucks to our parking lot, right?
Correct.
So what if we went out there on a Tuesday during lunch
Brought
with a
out the Frisbee? Why
Hey,
not?
how's it going? Just thought we
Because
could have.
it's not just our station; it's people from all of
All
the
of
other
these
buildings
offices,
and
yes.
stuff, and they're coming out, and then you have and then they get on
It's
it.
funny. Yeah,
Pretty soon, it's like holy cow! It's like every week people are coming out, and we created this huge Frisbee festival every Tuesday. How did this all started? Well, we saw these two guys out there playing Frisbee. Now we're having an annual Frisbee festival at Calixville parking lot. I like it. You got the food trucks
don't fit
already.
in. What's funny is we do not fit in because you're right. There's like attorneys and there's like a bank and investors and
Yeah.
then there's these radio people
Right.
that were like, "Hey, what's going on, people?"
Right.
They already think we're crazy. I
When
think in
they-
our office complex.
When they see us when they see us entering the building, they're like, "We'll take another elevator. We're not in the mood to talk to you right now."
Because we will all bring up a topic in the elevator.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll evangelize. They're like
why
I'm not
did
kidding.
they-
Sometimes it happens. I
Anything
go, "How
can
are you
pray
doing?"
for you today?
Yeah, they go, "Oh, I'm okay." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Just
Then-
okay.
Then
What's
we
happening?
turn on the pull the emergency alarm. Wait a second here. Let's figure this out.
Well,
Let's
that's good.
pray.
You're nicer than me. The other day I got caught for that awful feeling when you realize that you got in the elevator, the door is closing, and then you notice that somebody else is wanting to get on the elevator and you don't have time. I was like, "Oh, sorry."
It's okay.
Now
They get
I'm
it.
that girl.
It's okay. You apologize. That's good. I try. I'm a terrible person. You really want to know what kind of person I am? Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
You're on
I'll time it
camera.
out to where sometimes I'm like, okay, I notice this guy's coming into the door. I'm going to let him go ahead of me a little bit. I'm going to walk a little bit slower.
That's what our society has come to. We can't even be in the elevator together
But I
anymore.
can. I just have to make a
know.
deliberate mindset. Like, hey, Matthew, be a nice person.
Be a nice person today,
But sometimes
Matt. Be a people
it's
person.
tough. It's tough. If it wasn't the elevator, no problem. It's just I don't know what it is about the elevator.
Or do I
It
want to be
makes
stuck
things
with this person
uncomfortable.
just in case something goes down? It does make things uncomfortable. 'Cause
We
then,
need
like,
somebody to come up with a book, to publish a book, elevator conversations that you can have in 1 minute or 30 seconds or less that are not like the weather. Can't be the weather.
I don't think people want to have any other kind of conversation in the elevator other than the weather.
Really?
I really
That's
think
it?
then people would start
But it just
taking the
feels so weird. It
stairs.
feels forced. It doesn't feel genuine. Like it's like, oh yeah, nice day today. No rain. Hey, might have some rain. You
How
know?
did we
Hey,
get
don't
on-
forget the time changes this Saturday. How you getting?
Oh, yeah.
It's just like because you can't.
Trick or treating? How was it?
Right,
Yeah.
you can't have, and those are pleasant, fine,
Yeah.
because you can't go into depth in that much time to get to the elevator.
We could put the question of the day in the elevator.
Oh my
people
gosh!
would have to
every day. This is great. I love this idea, Amanda. You're a genius. Let's print out the question of the day in the elevator. Oh, and then if you're in
like
the
a pen on the string.
hey, that way it's not them, it's us. We ask the question. So
question of the day, which was for tomorrow's show. We could put this one up. Is it better to have your kids all together and close in age or spread apart in age?
This is a great idea. I just don't want to get in trouble with the property manager, like who's graffitiing the elevators. But it's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Print it out.
We're gonna
and
do
then that way,
and then we can
it's like,
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, you're both in an elevator. You get into an elevator with somebody. You're both obviously looking at the question of the day. It's right there, and so it would be more awkward not to answer it.
This is gonna blow your mind. And then
my mind's already blown with this idea.
Just wait. On the same page that has the question of the day on the elevator, we could have a little tag. Please join us for the discussion when we play Frisbee at 10:30.
Oh, I like that. Oh.
Then we could have a topic as we throw the Frisbee.
You guys, we are changing the world right now. We are making things happen. Man.
You never know.
That's why you never want to miss one of our Facebook posts with the video, because you never know how we might change the world.
How we would ramble on this
You never know.
If you are still watching, thank you.
They are. Trust me. Mom.
I love you.
I love you, Mom.
Your mom,
Dad. Oh, my dad
is watching.
My dad's watching, and then he'll comment, and then he'll make sure to sign it. Love, Dad. Like I don't know who it is. My dad's watching. My mom will watch, but it'll be like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I saw you talking about that topic. Like,
Mom's
that was like 2 weeks ago.
All right, so that is the question of the day tomorrow. So if you feel free, if you're still watching, to weigh in on that.
What did you say? Did you say what the question was?
Yeah, or is it better to have kids all together or
spread apart?
Spread apart. That's the question of the day.
What's funny is we came onto this video, and man's like, we need to do a video. I'm like, okay, I got like 2 minutes. Let's make it quick. And then I don't know I have no idea how long it's been, but it's been long.
Welcome to our world. Thank you, Fish Fam. We love you. Go play some Frisbee.